beautiful people. How are you doing today? I trust that you had a fantastic day. Today we are looking at something a bit different and dynamic and as well super unique, specially tailored for you. I'm sure you want to know what it is. My sincere desire is to ensure that in 2025 you land your dream job. That is my sincere desire, and to bring more joy and more satisfaction to me as an individual if you land your dream job within the healthcare system. Because I do this every now and then, and I will continue to do this because I want the waiting list to go down. I want our healthcare system to get better, not for myself, but for you and everyone member of the society. That is the reason why I'm here, and that is the reason why I'm doing this. And I'm more big when it comes to care because health is wealth. So today I'm bringing something that I know you want to hear. I did a quick, I think about 40 seconds video 3 days ago that talked about interview, the things to avoid, and how to ensure you properly position yourself when you have a shot at an interview. And I got great response from that, and I thought to do an extensive review about interview and how well you should position for your interview so you can land your dream job. I am very sure and I'm persuaded that in 2025 we'll be getting all the testimonials, you'll be getting all your flowers, and your long-awaited desire in landing that fantastic job that you've been waiting for is surely going to happen. So let's dive into today's session. Let's see what we can unpack, and let's learn the lessons that we need to learn for today. I'm looking at interviews and loads of them. I'm sure you've seen lots of videos as well. But what do I have that's a different from what you've heard? I have a lot. Trust me, I have a lot. At the end of the day, I'm going to be tailoring everything down to care because that is where my passion lies. But the truth is, if you apply these tips I'm going to dish out today, I am very persuaded, I'm very sure that you will get your job either in tech, in education, when you interview. You've heard a lot of relation or related businesses or jobs. I'm very sure you'll get it, irrespective of the sector or the organization. I am super sure you will get it. So first thing I want you to know, and I want us to look at today, is the cost for an interview from your perspective and from the organization's perspective. Because if you know and understand this, I am very sure your anxiety around interview will go down. Most times when you come for an interview, you can actively see the tension within the interviewing room, not necessarily from the organization or from the recruiters, but from the person that have come for an interview. I've had loads of interviews. I've been opportunity to be the one to interview loads of people, and I can tell from both sides how it works. So first, I want you to know that it costs the organization a lot to get you to the table. Yes, it costs them a lot to get you to the table. So when you get to the table, don't think that they are doing you massive favor, even though they are doing that, yeah? But let's just take it the way it is. Don't sit at the table as though they are giving you the best opportunity in life. No, they are not. It costs them a lot to get you to that table. That speaks to the fact that you are someone of quality. That means that they want to hear, see, and understand you as an individual. So there's no need for you to be nervous within that space. I want to make up, if you're a lady, the fine gown or the fine dress, the shoes and everything. That's a lot. So therefore, it means that you are unique and special. There's no need to worry. Does that make any sense? I guess it does. So let's continue. So when you get on that table, bottom line, push anxiety out of the way. Don't be under any form of pressure. Remember, it costs the organization to get you in, and it costs you as well to come in. So there is cost bearing on both sides. So their cost versus your cost knocks that initial pressure off. So it's even. 1-1. Nobody's leading. Two, I'd like to ask you, when you are going for, how is your appearance like? Remember, first impression matters a lot. First impression matters a lot. How is your preparation for the interview that you are going for? Do you know anything about the organization? Do you know anything about the hiring manager? Do you know anything about the person that's going to interview you? Most times when they send out mail for interview, I know that they tell you the person that's going to be interviewing you. Have you ever thought to yourself to put the details of that person on Google and see what comes up? Either their Facebook details or their Instagram or their LinkedIn profile, whichever comes up, just for you to have an idea and understanding of who is going to be interviewing you. That helps because that takes the tension. So let's imagine now that you are an animal person. You love dogs or cats. You are pets basically, and you love pets. You have good amount of pets at home. Guess what? The person that's going to be interviewing you, you looked at their profile on LinkedIn and you discover they love pets too. That's already a bond, that's already a connection that you can tie straight away at the interview. Then let's say, for example, coincidentally again, you attend it become in casual, but this guy didn't come in casual and just coming perfect already gave him a good start before the hiring manager. That's what I'm talking about. You having a good start from the beginning without you even saying anything, without you even having any conversation, you come in rightly. It speaks volume because that can get you the job even before you start speaking. Your speaking will just complement whatever feelings that the hiring manager is already having because your appearance made sense to him or her. So when you are going for your next interview, I would like you to check the organization to know what it's like before you go. It doesn't make sense if you are going for a corporate interview and you are on jeans and a t-shirt. It doesn't. If you are going for a tech, I could relate. But even going for a tech, it just depends on who the hiring manager or the panel team are. You need to just go fit for the role. It's called appearing right for the role, right? Dress the role. Dress the role. That's what that just like it. So I can't tell you don't put on jean. I can't tell you put on jean. But bottom line, look the part. Look the part. What it is that you are going for. Is it an engineering role? Look the part. Is it a tech role? Look the part. Is it a care role? Look the part. Because if you are looking the part already, before you even have a conversation, there is already that positive energy that is already going for you before you say anything. And that makes sense. Then also, if it's possible, have an understanding on how to open conversations when you are at an interview. Opening conversations help to also reduce the tension within the room. So even when they're asking, hey, how are you doing? Are you right? Are you good? How was your journey down? That is your window. It's not the interview yet, but you can already get a connection before the proper interview of tell me about yourself or whatever question they want to ask you. That already gives you a soft landing. So if for any reason the recruiter or the hiring manager ask you that kind of question, oh, how was the journey down here? Hope it wasn't, my friend, that is your window. If they ask you, how are you doing? Are you all right? Whatever the question is before the interview, that is your window to establish a quick connection. Never you let go of that anymore. It's a quick way to establish yourself. So, for example, again, hey, how are you doing? How's the journey? Oh, it was splendid. I never knew you had this within. I noticed there were this while I'm on my way. That means that you have to understand your environment. You have to be present in your environment. While on your way to the place, you have to be present. Look at your environment. Look at the environment and see something. So if you capture 2 or 3 things that you want to talk about already, then a dance program or you are into dancing and the person is into dancing as well or singing as well, come on, that's already a connection. Let's assume there's no connection. You know the person, you have an understanding of the person, the background of the individual. And may I remind you as well, when you go for an interview, the recruiting or the hiring manager knows about you because you've sent your CV, they've looked at everything before you were asked to come for an interview. So they have a bit of understanding about you. So why not have about them again? That balances out to know everybody is on the same platform when you do this. So you're not going anxious because you know the person you're going to meet. The person you are meeting knows you as well. So there's that balance on the table already. Let me give you a story. There was a day I was in the interviewing room. I was part of the hiring manager's team, and when interviewing a guy, I will always remember the scenario because it was mind blowing for me. It just speaks to the reality of things, the way things are, and the way people individuality plays when it comes to things like this, interviewing, hiring people. If you are a people's person, it will be known straight away. And these things can mean you getting a job or you not getting the job. So back to the story I want to use to drive home this point. So this guy came for the interview. We did everything. The guy left and I was speaking with the hiring manager. And the hiring manager was like, I like him. It was on pants. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? I'm like, no, it means a lot, man. Why? Because an average person that comes for care-related role are on jeans and a t-shirt. That's just the window. You never can tell. That's the manager may just like one of the things you said, and you've established another connection again. Even if he or she does not even like what you've said, but what you've successfully done is to create an understanding that you are someone that is present. You are not absent-minded. So on your way, you are able to spot A, B, C within that area. And to your surprise, the hiring manager may not have even noticed some of those things. So if you do that, you are already telling the manager that I am a present person. Whenever I'm in, I am totally present in that space. And trust me, that's going to land you really well when it comes to the job itself. So you're already having a good footing even before the job interview in itself. Does that make sense? So let's crack on. Most people go for an interview and they don't really know the organization. That's a no-no. You need to know the organization that you are going for. So for example, you are going to ABC Complex. What is ABC Complex? Who are they? What are they? What are they into? You need to know this. So for example, let's use the NHS. NHS is the umbrella word, right, for the healthcare system within the UK. But each trust has their value. Each trust is dedicated to an aspect of research, an aspect of health, and the story continues. So when you are going for that interview, or a care home, or a care facility, or a day center, or even a council role, what does the council stand for? What are the values? What is the vision of the council? What is the vision for the council? What is the vision for the organization? You need to know that. Because when you do, you'll be able to ask yourself the question if you are a good fit for the organization. Because the interview basically is value exchange. Any interview you have the opportunity to attend, know real time that you are having a value evaluation system. That's what it is. Value from you, value from the organization. You are checking yourselves. If my value is right with the organizational value, and if their value is right with mine, that is the conversation you're having when you go for an interview. It's not a one-way traffic. Interview is a two-way street. It's a two-way part. So never you go to an interview and just think, oh, please try and get me this job. I need my next paycheck. No, you have more to give than that. So it's a value system. Know what the organization is. Understand their value, understand their vision, understand their mission, understand how they choose and they plan to execute their objectives. Because if they plan to execute it XYZ and that does not resonate with you as an individual, then it's a no-no. It's a no-no. At this point, I really want to pause here and have a different conversation with you, and we'll come back to where we left. When you are asking for a job, I really want to let you know that you are not just anybody asking for a job. You are not asking for a job because you need money. Money is the least form of resource. I keep saying it and I'll continue to say it. Money is your least form of resource. So you don't go to a job because you need money primarily. Yes, money is part of it, but you don't go because you need money primarily. You should have value in yourself that you are given. You must have value in yourself that you are given. One of your values is your energy, is your muscle. Is it that? Is it the energy or is it the muscle that you are given? That's one. Is it your soft skill that you are given? What it is that you are giving? You need to ask yourself, what do I have inside that I want to give to my community, that I want to give to my nation, that someone will hire me for to have it? That someone will say, come and work with me because you have this thing I want you to share with the community. I want you to share with my company. I want you to help me push my company because of those values that you have. So you don't go to any organization, send your CV because you just want a job. No, it's a total no. From creation, looking at creation, God did not create anybody using a master processing instrument. No, each one of us were carefully crafted. If you look at the human system, you will understand this truth. We were carefully crafted, and that speaks to us as being unique, as being special, as being original, as being authentic, as being super, as being amazing, as being loving, caring. The list goes on. So you are more than you think you are. Obviously, you are more. So I want you to go to every interview and any interview with this understanding. So when you're sending out your CV or you are sending out an application, I want you to tell yourself, is this organization worth my time? Is this organization worth my resource? If I put in my energy, if I put in my resource, my hard and soft skill, will it be worth it for the organization? Will it be worth it for me? Will it better the society? These are the questions you ask yourself before you even think of putting in an interview. And I'll speak to people that want sponsorship, certificate of sponsorship. Some persons don't know what it is. I'll try and explain and just move on. So for people that come over to the UK or Canada or whichever, there are different parts, different countries, right? Green card, Canada, PRO, and all of those things. Just using the UK as a case study, you need a skilled worker visa to stay in the country. When you are done with your education or you are done with what you were previously doing and you want a stay in the country, you need a company, an organization to tell the Home Office, the immigration team that, okay, I want to keep this man, I want to keep this lady within my organization because he or she has value to give to me, right? So that's what the COS is all about. Certificate of sponsorship to retain an individual within that location, within the country. So now, I understand very well that most people want a certificate of sponsorship. So any job that you say sponsorship, you throw in the application. Any job you say sponsorship, you throw in the application, you go for the interview. No, no, please. I understand very well that you need the sponsorship, but I want you to also understand that life is more dynamic and life is more unique beyond all of that. So you need to get a job. You need to get your sponsorship. Yes. Let's get it right from day one, because I don't want you to get that sponsorship and you regret getting into the organization because you were not fit for the organization or the organization is not right for you. Whenever you close from work or from your shift, you are scared to go to bed. And when you go to bed, you are scared to wake up because you don't want to go to job or you are not happy or excited about the job. That's a story for another day. But I just want you to know that anytime and every time you are applying for a role, ask yourself if you are a good fit for the role, and ask yourself if the organization is a good fit for you. Because to be fair and sincere, not all jobs are right and perfect for the same for you as an individual. And in respect to care, care is a lot dynamic and unique that you have to really, really be careful to know the job to go for and the job not to go for. There are some jobs you go for and the first day you are sacked on the spot because you don't have the right energy for the role. Just that, you're sacked on the spot. And there are some roles you go and you tell yourself, oh, I never knew it was this emotionally draining. I never knew it was this physically demanding. You were told during the interview, but experiencing it is is a different ball game. So let's come back to what we're saying. So when you are preparing for an interview, you need to check the organization and be sure what the organization is about. And this cuts across every sector, it cuts across every organization, it cuts across every country. You need to know what the organization stands for and ask yourself if you are a good fit. Check their values, if they resonate and they make sense to you. Then, when you're done with that, you go straight to the next. Why was the role or why is the role vacant? There is a reason. Someone left the role or is a new role. You need to ask yourself. And when you ask that question, you can ask the recruiter on that day, but you can research further. Go on the company website and check if that role is new or it's been there. You will see it. They'll tell you if it's a new role, or they'll tell you it's an existing role, but we are upgrading. We want the same role to be replicated in XYZ area. So know why the role is available. If it's a new role, oh, fantastic. It means the company is expanding. If it's not a new role, why is the position there? Why is the role vacant? You can also see that within the organization, and that is where you actively begin to look at the specification for the role, the person's specification for the role. That speaks to why the role is vacant. Yes, not many people know this, but it speaks to it. So you'll see all that they've listed and outlined for the role. You see what is essential and what is not essential for the role. You go through all of this and you ask yourself, am I fit? Do I have A, S, Y, Z? Or I have A, B, C, but I lack S, Y, Z. Should I still apply or should I not apply? That's another conversation. I will always encourage you to apply if it is a role that you have flair for. If it's a role that fascinates you, I'll ask you to apply, even though your requirements, you don't have up to 50%. Because I've seen people that have gotten role on zero experience. It's a story for another day, but I'll tie it into this as well. Because when it comes to that interview metrics, a lot of things go on that you don't even know. A lot of things, which I've highlighted earlier. We talked about appearance. We talked about your understanding of the role. We talked about understanding the organization. We talked about the cost from you and the cost from the organization, and talked about understanding who the hiring manager or the hiring manager is, or the recruiting manager. Know them, check on them, check them online, know who they are, know what their history looks like, and match that with yours. So with all of this, the what they call it, the metrics is almost the same. So you are no longer anxious when it comes to having those conversations with anyone that will be interviewing you. So you need to be sure why the role is vacant and see the person's specification if you as an individual truly qualify for the role, because it helps a lot. It helps a lot. Okay, so having established all of this, I want us to go a bit further now. And at this time, how do we answer questions? How do we answer questions? Before you can answer any question, it means that you put in a level of preparation. So I am very, very big on preparation, because you can't scale any interview if you are not prepared. At this juncture, I'll give you a story of my life. Some years back, I had this friend of mine from a corporate. We've been friends from a corporate platform, and there was an advert in his company, and I liked what they were offering then. Into the environmental space. I keep developing myself and just switching roles in between anyway. So I put in the application, spoke to him. I had a shot at the interview. I think if I remember very well, we're four. I think so. We're four. All guys. All guys. And we had the interview. I was brilliant as far as I was concerned. I was brilliant. I was fantastic. We had both physical, soft skill interview or demonstration, and hard skill demonstration during the entire interview space. So they were checking our competency on both sides. Done with the interview, I enjoyed myself. I liked myself. I spoke after. I sent a message appreciating him for the opportunity, and I told him, hope I did well, hope I didn't mess up, because it was your name on the table as far as I was concerned. Yeah, I was like, no, that's fine. Bottom line, 2 weeks after I got, I'm sorry, as it is, I got an unfortunate. But I was okay, because I did all I needed to do. For me, it wasn't the job. It was ensuring that I did not mess up primarily, because it was a referral. That's what it was for me. So I wanted to be sure that I made the person that referred me to be proud. And that was it for me. It wasn't about getting the job or not getting the job. I wanted that to be, and I got that, even though I didn't get the job in itself. And I was okay. I was very okay. Now, here is the gist. A month or two after then, boom, I got a call. Is this blah, blah, blah? Yes, I was driving. I just parked, received the call, and they're like, can you speak? If I know the things I know now, if I knew then, I would say no, I can't speak. But young man trying to trying to get all the opportunity possible, yeah, said yes, I'm fine, I can speak. This is an interview, blah 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 blah, for this role. You were in so and so interview. You are among the people we are considering for this role, because you did well, though you didn't get the job, because we had other persons that we thought were closer to the job specification than yourself. But you did well, and we are offering this particular job, and we just want to have a conversation with you around this. I said, oh, that's fine, that's brilliant. If I knew, I would have said no. So they said, okay, you attended this, yes. You attended this, I said, yes. Okay, can you tell me about your MSc project that you did on this and this, and what was? Asked me one of the elements I used. Come on, who will remember instantly? I couldn't remember at that point, and I was like, that was a while ago. I can't really remember the threshold for this element. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Ask me another thing again related to the same element. I'm like, come on, why are you asking me everything around this element? Is this the most important? I'm just speaking out loud, right? Is this the most important thing that you want to ask me in relation to this? But bottom line, I messed up. Till date, I still remember like it was yesterday. I still remember like it was yesterday. And the reason why is, for me, I did poorly because there was no preparation. It was my project work on MSc level that I did a while back. So if I had told them, I'm not available now, but we can fix a meeting for, I'll go back and prepare. And when I do that, I would have gotten the job. But I didn't get it. But not getting the job wasn't my problem. My problem was I messed up because it was a referral yet again. I took up my phone, I quickly messaged her like, I'm sorry, I just messed up at an interview. I didn't really know it was an interview, but there's no excuse. Is your name above the board? And I just wanted to tell you and let you know that I'm sorry for messing up this way. And he responded nicely and all of that. But my story speaks about the value and the place of preparation that you need to adequately prepare when it comes to an interview. You don't go casual for any reason. Even if you've been to 20, 30, 40 interview, you should treat every interview as a new one, and because it is a new one. It's a new organization, it's a new day, it's a new role, it's a new task. You should respect the organization, you should respect the job, respect the role, and prepare for the role. If you're not going for the interview, fantastic. Send them a mail that you'll not be able to. But if you know you are going, take it as a responsibility for you to go in and showcase your value and also respect the organization that you are going into. So the place of preparation when it comes to interview is 101% accurate and right and fit for you to do. Does that make sense? So let's continue. Answering questions during interview. There are various methods that have been suggested and people have been using for a while. I will just highlight them, but I'm going to be laying more emphasis on one of them. I'm going to be laying loads and loads of emphasis on just one of them. I'm very sure we all know the STAR method. I'm very sure we all know the SMART method, but I'm going to be introducing it's not new, but that's just where I want to conclude on. I want to use it to buttress my points because I'm gradually going to wind down to health care. So I want to use that to help to actively push that narrative. So for the SMART, like we all know, is more for project management and development. So speaks to the situation, being on time, being relevant, and all of those conversations. Then the STAR method speaks to customer related questions, speaks to your decision making as a leader, understanding those decision making metrics as a leader. So I'm rushing through this, not primarily because they are not relevant, but is not where I'm going to be laying emphasis today. So just to wrap up and I quickly go to where I'm going to, the STAR method. STAR is an acronym. STAR is an acronym. The S speaks to situation. What's the situation? or at my place of work, we had zero. We had when it came to inspection control, we were flat on that. That's the situation. Then what was the A? What was the action? Sorry, the T. What was the task? What was it that you did? What was the task? Okay, so we got everyone staff member together and we trained them on infection control, the use of PP, donning and doffing. We did all of that. Fine. The task and the action, they go together. So what was the result? When they came again for inspection, we got 70%, we got 80%, or we got 100%. So there is the situation, one, then there's the task, two, there is the action, and there's the result. So you can use this always to frame your answers because it ties up at the end of the day. It shows your leadership skill, it shows your customer awareness or your customer strengths, basically. Then when it comes to the smart is like I said before, is more for project development because the smart speaks to one, being specific, what's the objective, what's the major goal that I want to achieve. Then M speaks about measurable or measurement. What's the scope from A to Z, or from B to C, or from C to D? So it must be measurable, basically. That's what it speaks to. Then the A, is it achievable? Yes, your project is great, it is lofty, we cannot achieve it. We cannot. So you have to really, really be looking at the reality of the project coming to pass. It's not just a big elephant project that is going nowhere or it means nothing. So is it something that this present organization or this present team or the resource available, can it meet or suit this purpose, and are we going to be successful? So it has to be achievable. Then you want to check, is it relevant to us as a body, as an organization? Is it relevant to this unit? Is it relevant to this body? Is it what we should be doing? Those are the things that you need to be playing about, right? And the time frame. That's as it relates to project development and project management. But when it comes to interview, you play around it as well. You have to be sure, okay, what were the specific tasks you were given? What was the time frame? How relevant was it? How dependable, or were you able to achieve it? What skill did you bring into the picture that enabled the organization, the team, to achieve it? But this is where I'm going to. So I'm introducing the S.E.L.L method, which is S-E.L.L. The S.E.L.L method, that's the one I'm introducing and is the one I am big on today. The S.E.L.L method speaks more towards healthcare because healthcare is story plus evidence. Yes, it is story plus evidence. If you've worked in the healthcare for a while, maybe a year, 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, and the list continue, you will agree with me that we have loads and loads and loads of story to tell, from staffing to timing, every bit of story, food preparation, health, safety, hygiene, health and safety, environment, fire. There are loads. Then when it comes to the people, there are loads as well. Have you worked within elderly care? Have you worked within learning disability children, teenagers, adults? You see, it goes on. So primarily, when you work within the healthcare system, there are loads of story to tell. So when you have a chance at an interview and you are using the S.E.L.L method, it is spot on. Because the S.E.L.L method, S is for, some people call it skeleton, some people will call it story. So whichever you choose to go with is fine by me. So S starts for skeleton, or it stands for story. Whichever one you pick is fine. Then the E talks about enveloping or evidence. What are the evidence in your story? So when you have a shot at an interview, you are bringing in the story, you are bringing the evidence into the story. So you are developing and fleshing the skeleton. That's why some people call it skeleton. Then when it comes to enveloping, you are beginning to add flesh to the skeleton. So whichever you choose to pick, I'm not bothered at all. Then the L talks about you, what you've learned, primarily your lessons and what you have learned. So S.E.L.L is skeleton, storytelling. L, okay, let's pick one so it will be easy. So it is story, evidence, learned, lesson learned. Story, evidence, lesson learned. That's what it is. So when you have a shot at an interview, especially within the healthcare system, NHS, care home, council, whichever, use the S.E.L.L system to sell yourself. Oh, that's a good rhyme. Sell to sell. Fantastic. I didn't think of that before now. So use the S.E.L.L system to sell yourself. Gather loads of stories to help push or drive whatever it is that you are telling. And can I quickly advise you? I've been opportunity to be in loads of interviews, and I've also gone for loads of interviews myself, just to be there with the current trend. So I go for interviews a lot. Don't worry. I just want to be there. So one thing I like to advise: there are things that the recruiter wants to hear. There are things the recruiter wants to hear. I want you to ensure you tell them what they want to hear. They came to hear something. Hope you know that as you are saying whatever it is that you're saying, they are recording as well. So there are basic guidelines that they use in qualifying everyone they are interviewing. So therefore, give them what they want to hear. And they are basic, to be fair, especially within the healthcare system. It is basic. There's something unique as person-centered care. You should be using that word very, very well. I've been in an interview where everything he or she said was person-centered care, but they were not used rightly. So you should also know when to use it and when not to use it. So I'll just put some words, and I want you to develop more during your next interview. And if you want to give me a shout before your next interview, if I am chanced, I will be glad to walk you through some of these things. So you want to be using words like safeguarding. Understand what safeguarding is. You want to be using words like choice. You should be giving people choice every time. You want to be using words like dignity and respect, because it is everyone's right. It's a fundamental human right. Dignity and respect is a fundamental human right that everyone is entitled to. You should be using those words, right? You should understand what person-centered care is about. You should be using words like care plan. These are just a few that you should be using majorly. When you don't use things like this, health and safety, that's another one. Hygiene, nutrition, dehydration, the list continues, yeah? But these are just pockets of words, personal care, pockets of words that you should know. Have in your arsenal when you are going for healthcare related roles, the healthcare system in general. You should understand this word. There are other words, but I'm just using the general one because if we want to go a bit deeper, we'll start looking at de-escalation. We'll start looking at safety interventions. We'll start looking at preventive measures. We'll start looking at best interest decision. And the list just goes on, yeah? So, primarily understand fundamental language. Yeah, let me use that one. The fundamental language, the terminology for the industry. And when you have a shot at an interview, you should not be using general words anymore. You should be using those words because those words strike the right chords within the hiring manager. They strike the right chord. So you should be using those words and know when to use them and use them appropriately. If you do this, I'm very sure you are getting closer to being hired. I'm super sure of that. So you use the right words. And for this to happen, it means that you have to prepare. That's what it simply means. You have to really, really prepare. So you have an interview in 3 weeks' time, you should be preparing already. Understanding the organization, understanding specific, understanding the role specific, understanding what it's about, and the list just goes on. So let me go back to my method again, the S.E.L.L method. So in the same method, you should have loads of stories to tell to drive your narrative. Even when they say, tell me about you, like I've said in my previous video, go to my bio and check. When they say, tell me about you, it's not a time for you to say, my name is this person and I'm from. No. Tell me about you. As great as it is, I will ask you to deviate from it and go deeper in telling me about yourself. I'm someone that is passionate about the healthcare system. During my role in A and B, I showcased this talent because, I just remembered Patricia. Patricia was this. I worked with Patricia for 2 months, for 8 months, and Patricia was able to move from point A to point B. And during my time with Patricia, I realized that I, as a person, I have more to give than I initially thought I will. What have you done? You have simply moved the conversation from you showing evidence using a story and what you've learned to drive who you are. That is splendid. That tells them that you are the right fit for the role. You are getting closer to getting that role. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you 100% you are getting closer. So you move from the evidence. You've shown the evidence. The person was this, and I was able to get the person here. That's evidence. That's evidence based. When you met this person could not what can I use? The person was just on a wheelchair, but supporting the person over time, helping in massaging, because there's a protocol for that you saw in the organization. You followed that, boom, 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 boom. You were able to. Now the person is using a Zuma frame. Bam! All the right news drilled through. We had a risk assessment in place. I was actively working with the physio team that was coming to check on this S.Y resident, and within the last 6 months, we were able to get her back working using a Zima frame. We have increased. I was among the team that successfully increased our level of independence and also our mobility. That is it, evidence based. You drive home the point within that. So by the time they are coming back to asking you the next question, you'll be hearing things like, you've already showcased your understanding around this. You've already showcased your understanding around this, so we'll not even be having so much. But just because we need to write, can you tell me a time about this? Can you tell me about this? Can you tell me about it? I've been in an interview like that I did just this thing I told you, and I got the job. And that was a while back as well, long time ago. So I'm not telling you strategy that is not working. I used it, it worked for me. I'm very sure it will work for you and countless number of persons that will choose to implement this task. There's something like providing loads of evidence and something like not being adequate. If you remember, for every interview you've attended, the recruiter is always writing, or the hiring manager is always writing. What are they writing? They are writing what you're saying. So that is their evidence for scoring you, either a 1 or a 0.2 or a 0.3 or an outstanding. So give them loads of information that are right and correct, that they will have nothing to ask you. And every time I can give you this I don't want to be dogmatic, right? But I can give you this as a sure plug. When you say sure plug, means that it's something that pulls through every time, right? I can give you this as a sure link. I think that's what I'm looking for in driving a fantastic interview. Flip the coin on the recruiters, flip the coin on the hiring manager. Take it away from them asking you questions to two of you having a conversation. If you can do that any interview, I'm sure you will be happy at the end of the day. The hiring manager will be happy and you have left your presence. Let me tell you something. Even if you don't get the job, you have left your presence. Some hiring managers, some recruiter will keep your details, and when there is another role, they give you a call. It will be, do you want this job? And you tell them, no, I've gotten something else. Oh yeah, great, I'm coming. Yes, it happens every time. It has happened to me several times. I've turned jobs down because I had something else that I wanted and I was already doing it before the job role came, and it was this method. It takes away tension, it takes away anxiety. Use the S.E.L.L method for care because it helps you evidence and showcase all that you've done. Then, just to conclude, remember how we started. We talked about you understanding the organization, knowing that there's a cost from the organization, there's a cost from you, so that you don't have to have tension when you are coming for the interview. Remember, look out for the hiring manager details online, and because they have your own details, so when you bring that in, two of you are on the same platform, there's no need for tension. Ensure you appear right, you appear fit for the role, you come prepared for the role. Remember to always look at the organization, person specification for the role, why the role is vacant. When you've done this, begin to rehearse. Get loads and loads of story to tell for every scenario or every question they are going to ask you. And may I remind you, just by the way, I just want to bring it to your notice. Do you know, when you tell yourself something over and over again, it becomes so real. Even if it's a story fabricated in your head, when you tell yourself repeatedly, your head can't tell anymore if you actually experienced it or you didn't. So when you're able to evidence loads and loads of stories to help push and buttress your point, it seems real to you. But I'm not saying you should go carrying information that are not real. If you be in the care space, look out for, just be present. That I'll say, just be present in your environment. Sit down and really look at your day-to-day activity as a care staff, as a bank staff, or whatever it is that you are going into, your next line of action. You will see that you'll be able to evidence loads and loads of stories that you can tell. So drive your interview, drive your recruiter through your personal experiences as it pertains to this role, and that will knock off the tension. It will make it a conversation, no longer a question and answer session, and I'm very sure you'll be able to land your dream job. Remember the S.E.L.L method. Sell yourself to get the job. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. We'll have time to answer those. And I want you to get ready for the part 2 of this, because on the part 2, I'll be going a bit more practical when it comes to these interview questions, giving live sessions and answering them. I also want to give a call to any care staff who will be privileged to listen to this conversation. If you want the world to hear your story on how you've been amazing, how you've been supportive, and how you have helped the healthcare system within your unit, within your organization, send me a mail or let me know that you're interested. I'm currently doing a compilation of the amazing job that care workers are doing across the globe, not just within England, not just within Europe, across the globe, from Africa down to Europe and across. So if you are interested in this, send me a mail. We'll have a chat, we'll have a video call. I just need one video of your story telling me the amazing job you are doing, and I will showcase it to the world. Thank you once again. It's always nice coming to have a conversation with you. I am very sure that you are upskilled already in 2025 with the session. See you next. Bye for now. Bye. To see it as you are going into a party and you are the special guest of honor. You get it is different, right? That feeling, that vibe is different. I want you to go with that positive vibe. Yeah. So you are going for a party or you are going for an event and you have a VIP ticket. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So you go in, you are relaxed, less tension. Think about it like that, because practically that's what it is. It costs the organization a lot to get you to the table. And they've seen loads of people, they've gone through loads and loads of CV before it got to you. And speaking about CV, I did a step-by-step guide, so you can check that on my bio and go through it as well. I am very sure that can help. So let's come back to our conversation. It costs them a lot to get you to the table. So don't go there as one that is the victim. No, you are not. And may I also remind you again that it costs you a lot to get to the table. So you say, so you have nothing to worry about. If you are driving, you bought petrol, that's your money. That was your time. You dressed for that interview, that's you. You took out time to prepare. You left your bed, you did all the preparation in there to do.